Thank you, Chairman Markozik. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, colleagues. I think it's safe to say that everyone here is here today because we care passionately about the retirement security of Pennsylvanians. I think it's also safe to say that those of us from southeastern Pennsylvania who are Eagles fans, who are here instead of the parade, really care about retirement security. But I'm very glad to be here, and I want to underscore a point the chairman made, which is this is not about red and blue. This is about green. And this is, in fact, the way government is supposed to work, seeing bipartisan problem solvers come together, determined to find common ground, common sense solutions. So I'm very happy, and Treasury is very happy to be a part of that, because this subject will have a huge impact on our financial futures. And by that, I mean the financial futures that all of us talk about at our kitchen tables, but also the financial future that the policymakers on the stage with me argue about over negotiating tables come budget time. As the chairman indicated, we have too many people who don't have enough saved. Nearly half of American families don't have a single dollar saved for retirement. And we have too many people who don't have a way to save anything. We have an estimated more than 2 million people, working Pennsylvanians, who have no way to save for retirement at their place of work. And to put that in context, that 2 million is more than the population of our two largest cities combined. It is twice the population of the state of Delaware. It is estimated to be the amount of people, excluding me and Senator Haywood, who are showing up at Broad Street in Philadelphia today. That is a number that we must do something about. Those 2 million people deserve a way and a chance to save their own money and to retire with dignity. I'm very hopeful that the conversation that this website will spark and facilitate and enable will begin to pave the way for true common sense, and I said common ground solutions that work for Pennsylvania businesses and for Pennsylvania employees. As the treasurer for the Commonwealth, I want those solutions also to work for the Commonwealth because I am particularly worried about the financial cost to us as a state if we fail to take action. We recently commissioned, through the task force that Chairman Markozik mentioned, an independent study of the cost to the state of our lack of retirement preparedness. And that study showed that this will cost all of us as taxpayers, all of us, more than $14 billion between now and the year 2030 in escalated state assistance costs due to insufficient retirement savings. That is $14 billion from hardworking men and women around the state, money that they could be using to put food on the table or send kids to college or start a business. That's $14 billion that we could be using to invest in our schools, to invest in our roads, to support the first responders we depend on, any of the myriad policy objectives that we have. So, as Representative Markozik said, we do in fact have a crisis, and it is urgent that we take steps to address this need as a matter of priority. That is why, as you heard, that we at Treasury convened over the past 6 months a talented and dedicated and also bipartisan task force on private sector retirement security. We've held hearings across the state. We've had input from experts, from researchers, from economists. We've heard from small business owners. We've heard from employees, all with the goal of understanding the scope of this problem, the dimensions of it, what's causing it, and most importantly, how we can move forward to address it. And the clearest takeaway from these hearings has been this: working Pennsylvanians and small businesses really need a path to enable their employees to save money and put aside funds for retirement. That path will help businesses by helping them attract and retain workers. That path will help employees by giving them the ability to put aside their own money and giving them a greater sense of dignity and a very real impact of more financial security as they enter into their golden years. And the good news from our work is that there has been a wealth of innovation across the country in states all around the nation in response to this crisis, and we can learn from that innovation, but we can do more than that, as I think the the authors of this website hope. We can learn from that innovation. We can also innovate here in Pennsylvania ourselves. That is who we are, and that's our tradition. So I'm here to say it's time for Pennsylvania to chart its own path forward that will ensure a secure retirement for millions of Pennsylvanians for decades to come. That is why the conversation that will happen through My Retirement PA is so important and so timely. That's why I'm so grateful to Representative Markozik for leading the effort to launch this initiative, and so grateful to the colleagues who have joined here today in support of it. And by the way, I did have, like many of us, a preview of the website and encourage all of you to check it out. It really is quite something. My only objection to it is there's an illustration where they have sort of one individual who's a dutiful saver and one individual who's sort of a careless spender, and they named that individual Joe, which I'm trying to not take personally. But this is very timely, very important, can be very influential. So I want to conclude by saying how grateful and glad I am to be here and for Treasury to be a part of supporting this initiative and being a part of the conversation that goes forward and being part of implementing the solutions that I am entirely confident that we can on a bipartisan basis identify. So thanks very much.